So here's an update on the demoing and process of my cabinets and some other things related to the kitchen remodel with the cabinets and countertop. So here's a hanging over the range microwave I'm going to install, and then potentially wiring for it as well, and lights for the kitchen as well. But the reason why I wanted to point that out is because I discovered that, and maybe I should have known about this since day one, but here's the demo so far. I think it's looking pretty good. I just have to do a few more things. This was the hard part because it was so much countertop to remove. So it's looking pretty good. I think pretty clean in terms of the demo. But I discovered that, and I probably should have known about this, but even though there's an existing wire here, see that wire? That is actually not a dedicated circuit, meaning it's probably attached to like the wiring that goes to the lights or something like that. So the problem with that is the over the range microwave actually requires the its own dedicated circuit, meaning one where the wire just goes directly to the breaker panel. So the breaker panel, I'm going to need to put in a new breaker cartridge that goes to the bottom, and I'm very fortunate because there's one more space left for the panel plate for you to cut out, and you can see it upstairs. I'll show you upstairs, but I'm fortunate that's going to be the case, and the breaker is right directly up on top, so I shouldn't have a problem with that. But I just thought it was interesting to discover it later on. Also, another unfortunate thing about this whole cabinet process is that they're going to take they're taking their sweet time to deliver them. So I thought that maybe it would be Monday. So I took a PTO, a whole week of PTO for this coming week, to exclusively focus on this project. And it turns out that the cabinets are going to come at the end of the week on Friday. So that makes me think either it will make me think of being discouraged from it, or or the fact that I may not be able to put those in by the time they get here, because I'll probably already be done with my PTO by that point, or they might deliver it after I'm done with my PTO. So it's I feel like the whole idea of having that PTO and trying to use it for this project is almost null, because I'm not even doing this project while I'm doing it while I have PTO. I'm doing this project when I stop working, after hours. So far it's just been stuff, whatever I'm doing after hours. So it's kind of interesting how things work, but yeah. So anyway, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 recessed lights. I think I showed you. I don't know if I showed you, but here's one of them, and they're going to be 6-inch ones diameter. So that's going to be interesting. Also, another thing that I happened to encounter recently is I actually met up with my uncle, who I haven't seen for 14 years. He was in jail for something that he didn't do, and he was exonerated. So yeah, he was found not guilty, and it went into in history or whatever. So, but he's been out of jail now for about 6-7 years, and he seems very happy. So I was glad to see him, and it's been 14 years, and he told me I don't look any different. But that's a good thing. That's a compliment, I think, because I did look a lot different just about a year ago. Because I weighed 50 pounds heavier or something like that. So anyways, yeah, that's what's going on with the kitchen remodel. And another thing that I didn't tell you is that I tried to test the valves so that I could shut off the water, so I could actually essentially take out the faucet. But the problem is, I don't think the valves don't seem to be working, unfortunately. And I could try to test it now, but honestly, they just don't work. When I put it to the other way, it just like this would, it would allow this one to turn. And then so basically when I tried to turn them both off, the water was still running. So it's definitely not working. And so that kind of sucks, right? But see, I'm getting a plumber out here because the thing is, I'm hoping that they'll be able to put that valve in without needing to, because the thing is, the valve outside is also broken. So I can't even shut off the main water. So both valves are bad, and there's just no way for me to personally trust myself to try to take the faucet out while the water is on. And so, because I looked online and they said that the amount of pressure is such that you're pretty much going to be having a really hard time trying to mess with the water while the fixtures while the water is running. So I just don't think that it's a good idea unless I have the ability to turn off the water. So you can see that all these complications occur while you're trying to do something like this, and it's kind of interesting to see. But and then another thing that I have to do, so a lot of the work is not just the cabinets and the countertop. Most of the and also the what do they call that, the backsplash, because I'm going to put some backsplash there. A lot of the work is electrical. Like it's going to be trying to find ways to cut things out and stuff like that, and trying to wire properly, because it's kind of interesting. I actually, this wall, it's a half wall, but I don't think it was properly put in. I think there's a few things I have to do, and I'm not quite sure what I have to do, but what I may end up doing is keeping the base plate there, or the sill plate, and then building like a wall on top of it. So using the lumber that I bought here. So the reason why is because not only is this wiggly, but there's holes drilled here, and that may not be proper. So there's like holes drilled here, and if I'm going to rely on the studs to provide support, I just don't know if I could rely on what's here, because it is wobbly a little bit, and I don't think that, well, there's like one nail, I don't know if you can see it, on the end of the stud wall, or two nails. But generally speaking, it's just not sturdy enough. Although I could always put in nails. So that's not really the concern. It's more about, like, I think the studs are also spaced pretty high. I think that's about a little more than 3 feet apart. That's a little bit more than it should be. So maybe I'll just put in some more studs, or something like that. But it was definitely not relying on that. I hate to try to show you, but there's actually like foot, I don't know if you call it what you call them, but they're like foot anchors. I think that was the heavily reliant part. So like, if I can just move that, you can see here, this is like a footing, and they have some anchor points here. So this was attached to the cabinet, and that was what was being relied on. And same with that, and every other one. If I lift that one up, it's going to show the footing thing. I don't know what you call that, but I think that was the thing that the cabinets were relying on for support, and it wasn't the stud wall. I don't really quite know 100%. I mean, other than the fact that it was used for the overhang, but that's like the only thing I can see as why this stud wall was even here. Otherwise, it's not really doing anything. It seemed like it, but it's not really doing anything. You don't even need, it doesn't even need to continue on. It just was there because it was just there for convenience, because of the fact that, obviously what else are you going to do? So I don't think it was actually used to support the cabinets, but more so just support that overhang. And yeah, that's it. And then I don't even know what this green stud is doing here. It's kind of interesting to see that. I mean, I guess it was like, I don't really know actually. Because you already have a stud here, so I don't know what that would have been used for. Because it's just there. So, and it's like preserve treatment or something. I don't know, maybe it was just extra backing for anything. I guess they just decided to put it in there. I don't know. It's funny, I feel like I should know, but I don't. Anyway, yeah, so I have to figure out what to do about this. They did put anchor points in here, and which is kind of interesting because the sill plate has anchor points, so they basically anchored the wall to it, but I just don't see what the purpose would have been for that, because if you're not using the wall necessarily as support, because it wasn't really being used as support too much, then I don't know what the purpose of that would have been. But yeah, I think if I'm gonna build, and so the other challenge about not having the cabinets is that you're not 100% sure of what you're gonna need or what you're gonna see. So you know what might end up happening is I may end up having to use a what do you call that, the tool that flattens things out, a planer, either on that or on the wall, because I'm gonna approximate the height, and if it doesn't exactly match, either I can shim or I'm gonna have to trim. So it's a little confusing because it's like makes me think like, should I even try to install the half wall? You know, because if you don't know exactly what the height is based off of what you have, then what's, you know, you're trying to, essentially you would want to fit everything together. And if you just don't have that, I don't know if it's even worth it. But it's about saving the time, because I have a whole week, and so if I can do that, that would be great. And but at the same time, you already have kind of like a half wall already, so I don't know. I have to think about this a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure I'll just build the half wall to size it according to the dimensions that I got from the Lowe's people for the cabinet. And I'm just going to use the height that's on there, and whatever dimensions to approximate. And then I'm going to try to, and then when I get the cabinets, I'm just going to shim or trim using the planer for that. I think that would be the best thing, because it's a matter of time savings. It's like if I have a whole week and I just waste four days just waiting, that's time I could have spent on that. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do the electrical. If I don't finish that, then obviously the half wall part will be part of the cabinets. But yeah, it's a little bit confusing coming from here on out, but it's all good. I mean, I'm figuring out what I need to do, so it's one step forward. Anyways, thanks for watching.